I want to make a video about coworkers because I know I've discussed this before, and I know some of you out there are in situations and jobs where your coworkers are toxic. They're they're just awful people to work with, and I'm sorry that you have to work with them because I live in I work in a toxic entire environment. I live in one too. My wife and I, we fight. I come home from exhausting 12-hour shift and we fight, or I go and fight with her before my 12-hour shift at night. As you can see, it's night. It's dark outside. So I'm not lying to you. I work a night shift. I work 12 hours, and I've only begun to only work half of my shift right now as I make this video. But I want to get to the point here, and that is I had this coworker who, a number of years ago, back in 2023, she ended up essentially leaving my shift, and she gave me this excuse like, oh, her dog is like sick or something. Her dog needed to go to doggy daycare, and she needed to go work days. So she had to basically switch the shift that she's on and go to the beginning of the week and work day shift, which I totally get it. I understand. I love dogs. I hope that her dog is okay, and I think it is now. And her dog, he's fine, and that's great. And but fast forward, this is back in 2023, fast forward to end of, I think it was like beginning of 2024, she went back to nights. So it was like her shift was like, my shift is like at night from such and such hours to such and such hours. I'm not going to say the hours. And hers was too. And she went to the beginning of the week to days, and then fast forward like 6 months later, I think it was, she went to nights, or she went back to nights. So it was like a hybrid schedule, like second shift and third shift. So like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock to 1 a.m. was her shift. And she lied to me about leaving her shift, and I'm gonna get to the point in here in a minute. For what reason? Because of her dog? No, it's because she was dating a worker that we work with. The company that we work for, there was a girl there that she was dating. Yes, this girl's a lesbian, because I just mentioned my coworker is a girl, and the girl that she was dating is a girl, so that makes them both lesbos. Excuse my language. I don't know if you can say that nowadays in this DEI world that we live in, but they were both lesbians. One of them was bi. She was lesbian, my coworker, and I think that was the whole reason why she went on the second shift, was so that she could date this other worker who was on second shift, and they both kind of got off around the same time and they could hang out. And by the way, she was cheating on her partner, my coworker, and it was very toxic, and there's a lot of drama, and I had to listen to her almost every night complain about this other worker that we worked for. We were kind of a vendor of their company, and she dated her, and it was just like this toxic, drama-filled workplace. And fast forward to about a week ago, she's gone. My coworker who I've worked with, who essentially kind of sort of trained me on this job in a way, and was there for me and helped me out. We talked a lot on the shift. We got along. We worked really well together. She's gone as of last week. And she's getting trained now to go over the road as a truck driver for this company. I'm not going to say the company. You probably all know who I work for, but she's gone. And, kudos to her. I wish her well on the road. But it's that drama, toxic-filled shift, workplace, whatever, that I'm not going to miss. I'm not going to miss that one bit, because that's what she brought to the table. And I want to go back to energy, because I've talked about energy a lot on this channel and this page and whatever, these videos. And I want to talk again about the coworker who's now gone, the one who essentially lied to me about how my boss like texted him one day and said we couldn't do a certain method at our job. And I was like, all right, fine, we won't do that. And now that guy's gone. He's not even on my shift anymore. And he's just a lazy ass. I mean, he just doesn't do anything. He comes in and he showed up late today. He showed up 30 minutes late today. I saw him. As I was driving off in my car, he was like literally actually 31 minutes late. He showed up at like a minute later. So he could have gotten fired today because he's been late so many times. But he's gone now, and as I talk about this job, it's growing kind of old because it's getting old because I've talked about so much and nothing's changed about this job. Um, it's getting old, and like I think that the longer I stay here, like the more insane I probably will get if I stay at this job. And what keeps me here is just like the time I have off during the week to do what I want to do. And what I'm realizing now is like, I feel like if I did what my coworker did and went over the road, I don't know how much time I would have for myself because I don't think she's going to have any time for herself. I think she's going to hate it. And I could see her coming back here, but I don't think my boss will allow her to come back. But this all goes to show that like your coworkers don't care about you. Your coworkers aren't your friends. Eventually, they're gonna up and leave, just like everybody else, and they're gonna say, "See you later." And the memories that you shared with those people, the good times, the bad, are gonna be completely gone. All you are stuck with is the memories, and that's kind of a downer because I have a lot of memories with this coworker of working with them. I mean, we go way back to like 2021. This is like pandemic era. Like we're still kind of in the thralls of the pandemic almost. In 2021, a lot of people are still scared of going out and scared of what this coronavirus could do. Oh my gosh, it's like whatever. But I feel like, she's gone. A lot of people that were here when I was here are gone. It's changed. I'm still here, and this is dangerous because I want out. And I'm making this video because I'm letting y'all know that energy changes. You have to be able to adapt. A wise teacher once told me, I'm not going to say who it is, but he said you have to adapt in order to survive, in order to thrive. You have to literally change your brain, and adapt. And that's essentially what this boils down to because, energetically speaking, each of these people that I've worked with, they brought something different to the table. Whether it was a low grade, low vibe energy, or like high energy, high frequency vibe, each of them brought energy to the table. And it was very nuanced, it was very subtle, it was very pronounced for the most part. But at the end of the day, it's like nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about your past, your future, it's all you have is the present moment, really. One day, everything that you know could be wiped away. Your job could be eliminated. Your position could be eliminated. Your manager could call you up one day and say, "Hey, we don't need you anymore." What would you do? So always be prepared. Always, in times of like of certainty, and good times and bad times. Always be prepared. And I'm sitting here, I'm taking a little break on my shift here. I'm about to go on lunch. It's about almost halfway through the night, and she's gone. That person who I thought would stay here for a really long time, she lied to me. She said, "I'm gonna stay here forever." And what happened was, the reason why she left is because somebody bumped her off her position. Someone with a high seniority at this company came in and bumped her off and said, "Hey, I'm gonna take your position. I like it. I like the hours. I like the money." And then boom, like that, she was gone, and she was forced to go do something she didn't really want to do. And that's sad to me. That's sad when a company can do that. Like when coworkers can come in here and just take your income and force you to go do something you don't want to do. And I don't know if that's like kind of true in trucking, like for every company, but I think specifically for the company I work for, it's true. And that's insane. And I'm thinking about my position, like how if some old fart wants to come in here and take my position because he wants some extra money, because he doesn't have enough money in retirement, I guess the Social Security paychecks don't cut it, and he needs more money, he could do that. And I'd be screwed. And that's why I'm telling you all, if you're at a job and you think that your job is secure, no matter what industry, I'm in fucking trucking. I mean, look, take a look around, you know? Look at all those trucks back there. You see all those trailers back there? I don't move those specific trailers, but there's a company right next door who moves them all. And I've moved trailers on that lot over there. And you think trucking is like, like guaranteed? Like you're guaranteed a job? I mean, no. There's no certainty anywhere. There's no job security anywhere. You could get bumped off by somebody who's been here for like 30 years in this company. You could come in here thinking that you're gonna have a job for the rest of your life, that you're gonna make tons of money, and somebody could upend it. The company that you work for could eliminate your job because they have low production quotas and they can't meet their quotas and blah blah blah, and there's no money and there's budgets and inflation and blah 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 and blah blah blah. You know, it's like the list goes on. Excuses. You know, at the end of the day, we're all human, and it's like humans do what humans do. You know, and they're fearful, they're scared, and they eliminate the very people that matter to the company that make them the most money, all in the name of the mighty dollar. And so, like, you know, do what you can do. Don't ever settle for a job that you hate, that you don't like. Life is short. And so that's my little rant for today. Is it's crazy how this coworker of mine is gone. You know, the energy that they brought to the table was very drama filled, but the person, don't get me wrong, was a very hard worker. I liked working with them. It's just sometimes it was just like, oh god, you know, like, do I have to listen to this some more? Or like, it was annoying, you know. And I kind of felt like that coworker of mine was kind of two-faced as well, like kind of talked about me behind my back, and I still don't know if they have or not, but maybe they did. I'll never know, probably. And who's to say I'll ever hear from that person ever again? They said that they'd like call me and like talk to me, but who knows? We'll find out, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I guess it goes to show your coworkers aren't your friends. What you think may be true may not be, and don't be so certain about your job. Cheers to you all.